And Tracy, you put it out there, and it's rare you get a game like this late in the season with teams playing this well. What do you expect the feels to be like on the field there in Denver Sunday?
Yeah, it's going to be electric. I mean, I was there for the Chiefs game, and that crowd was on fire, and they were ready to go. And I can tell you it's going to be just like that at Mile High. That stadium, being in Denver, it's going to be a gorgeous day. Clear blue skies, about 55 degrees. Everyone's going to be out. A lot on the line in this one, certainly. You know, more importantly, it's really coming out of that game, both of these teams, the winner coming out with just this confidence level. And I do believe it could be a Super Bowl preview. I saw Green Bay week 1, walked away from that game after they beat Detroit and said, this is a Super Bowl team. Now, I know they went through some ups and downs throughout the season. Didn't think necessarily that Denver was going to be in that mix, but watching them, I had a chance to see them against Dallas, against Philadelphia, against Kansas City, and honestly, every time they're out there, they prove that they're able to win the big game, whether it is early on or, as we know, they've won them late down the stretch of games, and they're just winners. And so certainly this will be a litmus test for both of these teams as they head into the final stretch of the season.
10 straight wins for the Denver Broncos, many times coming from behind in the fourth quarter. How do the Broncos feel, though, given the fact that they're riding this 10-game streak overall? They've won 11 straight at home, and yet they're an underdog in this game.
Well, just ask Bo Nix, who yesterday said, it doesn't matter. My mom thinks we're going to win. So I mean, that's really all that matters, right? I had a chance to speak with Zach Allen yesterday about it as well, and they're really all saying the right things. Certainly, you know, behind closed doors, it's extra motivation. It's some bulletin board material. But they've been in this position before. They don't care what the spread is right now. They don't need extra motivation, certainly going into this game. So, you know, they're just going to go and do their thing and ignore, you know, what the lines are. But it is pretty interesting to think that way and to see, you know, that both not only Denver, but New England as well, both coming in underdogs, riding these streaks and at home. I don't know. I don't know what Vegas knows that we don't know.
You know, talking about this game with several of our analysts, reading about it online, I've seen and heard a lot about how the Broncos still, they need to beat a team like this to prove that they're a legit Super Bowl contender. But you mentioned it. I mean, you were just there a few weeks ago when they played a game with a similar narrative to this, right?
Yes. And oh, by the way, early in the season, they went into Philadelphia and beat the Eagles. I mean, what kind of statement does that say? And they beat the Cowboys. Now, granted, that defense was not where it is maybe at this point of the season. And then you mentioned it, the Chiefs. And certainly they walk away that game, you know, AFC West rivalry with so much confidence. They truly believe, and it stems from Sean Payton. Sean Payton has done an unbelievable job putting this team together. And you watch what Bo Nix and how he's been able to progress. And each game, he tailors to what they need to do. It might not look pretty, but they're coming away with the victories. And then on the defensive side of the ball, certainly with Vance Joseph, I mean, just unbelievable job. Should get some opportunities to be a head coach again with that performance that he's been able to put on throughout this season. And I mentioned I spoke to Zach Allen, and he said it stems from Sean Payton into Vance Joseph and what Sean does with this team, the camaraderie, the way they go away during OTAs, the opportunities they have in London to spend time together, that camaraderie that he breeds on all sides of the ball. And you walk away every time from this team and you're like, they have it. They really do. I mean, they find ways to win down the stretch, and that just shows that this team is really good, solid from top to bottom. And
when you look at their losses, both of them to winning teams, the Packers, on the other hand, they had some real head-scratching losses this season. To Cleveland, they lost at home to the Panthers. You saw them week 1 in one of their biggest wins against the Lions. They go through that little down stretch, but now 4 wins in a row. Do they feel like they finally found that gear that they were searching for midway through the season?
I think they do. And again, it goes on every side of the football. And when you talk about the offense led by Jordan Love, went through maybe a little bit of a stretch there, a lull, but he's really playing his best football right now, seeing the field really well, not turning the ball over. They're getting the explosives. A lot of that has to do with the health of the wide receivers. You see Christian Watson proving that he's a number one wide receiver out there right now. Jaden Reed returns from IR. That's a huge boost for them. Everyone is contributing, and then they're running the football with Josh Jacobs. Now, I know he's been dealing with a knee injury, missed practice yesterday, expected to miss practice today. I don't believe that means he can't still play. I think there's a maintenance issue going on, just making sure he's rested and ready. They're certainly going to need to run the football to keep, this defense off the field and to be able to just, churn the ball and then make them, this defense wants to get home. They want to get after Jordan Love. If you can run the football, you're not giving them that opportunity to do that. And then flip to the defensive side of the ball and what Jeff Hafley has been able to do in Green Bay. And certainly the addition of Micah Parsons, which we saw week 1, it's all coming together for the Green Bay Packers at the right time.
You mentioned Josh Jacobs missing his second straight practice, but that would be good news for Packers fans if it's just a maintenance thing and he's going to be out there. It would be bad news for the Broncos. They are tired of seeing Josh Jacobs. They saw him a bunch when he was with the Raiders. 8 matchups against Denver. He's averaging about 120 scrimmage yards and over a touchdown a game. Tracy, we know this Broncos defense is elite, but you mostly hear about the pass rush and the pass D. What about the rush defense?
Yeah, that's going to be their number one goal. And talking to Zach Allen, they feel really, look what they did to Ashton Genty last week against the Raiders. Now, Ashton Genty and the Raiders are not Josh Jacobs and the Packers. Now, certainly, I do think that is the number one goal in any team is really to establish the run. And certainly, down the stretch of the season in bad weather, they've been able to do that with Josh Jacobs, and they're going to rely on him again if he can play and he can, carry the load. Because if you can run the ball, if you could do the play action, and they don't know, this pass rush doesn't know whether you're going to hand the ball off or you're going to throw deep, it really makes it for a difficult challenge for this Denver defense. And certainly if you make them, one-dimensional, take away that run, you're forcing them to pass, well, then the pass rush certainly can get home, and that's what they're looking to do. So the number one goal for the Packers is establish that run, and the number one goal for the Denver defense is stop it.
It's the number one defense in the league in many categories, and they are sitting number 1 in the AFC. The Denver Broncos hosting the number 2 seed in the NFC on Sunday, 4:25 Eastern. Tracy Wolfson going to be on the sidelines for the coverage. Our coverage on CBS begins with the NFL Today at noon Eastern time. The guys will get you set for maybe the biggest Sunday of games that CBS has had all season, that any network has had all season. It begins in that 1 o'clock window with another team on a 10-game winning streak, the New England Patriots, trying to wrap up the division against the Buffalo Bills.